Your pelvic floor is a series of 3 layers of muscles. There's like over a dozen different muscles in the pelvic floor. This is the superficial layer. And then we've got a second layer, which we can't really see in the model, but there are a lot of really small muscles around the urethra. And then we've got the hammock of the pelvic floor, or like the trampoline, which is where most of the stability and the support come from. What we can also see with the pelvic floor exam is some hip muscles. So you'll see a hip muscle here, and there's even one that can come back in here. And so when we talk about pelvic floor function, we can't just isolate it to the pelvic floor muscles, but we also have to look at the hip health as well to really get a true understanding of our pelvic floor. Some of the functions of the pelvic floor is bathroom control. So being able to go to the bathroom when you want to, and to be able to not go to the bathroom when you don't want to. And then we've got sexual function, which is if penetration's on the menu, that they can relax so that you can receive penetration. And then also for the muscles to contract so that you can have a strong orgasm, or on a penis so that they can relax for blood flow to come in to form an erection, and then for them to contract to be able to maintain that erection. One of the functions of the pelvic floor is stability and support. So the pelvic floor is part of the core muscles, and they need to work when you're doing a squat, when you're picking up something off the floor, when you're working out, when you're having sex, all those things, right? So we want to make sure that the pelvic floor is working at all times. And it's also a big reason why we do really functional strength training here, because Kegels are only a little bit of that answer, but if you're getting leakage when you're running, we need to see what your running looks like, right? Because your pelvic floor might be acting differently there than what it does during a Kegel. And then lastly, the pelvic floor also has lymphatic control, and so it can help with lymphatic drainage and making sure that we're not getting too much swelling or anything like that. So that's a little bit about your pelvic floor. If you come to Monterey Pelvic Health, you'd learn even more about your pelvic floor.